I believe that one of my biggest strengths has always been my power. And I'm definitely going to make sure that Josesito Lopez feels my power early. That way it's in the back of his mind. And, you know, a lot of fighters, after they feel the power, they get timid and they get cautious. And sometimes they start to not fight their fight. And that's what I would like to do with Josesito Lopez, is rattle his cage and get him out of his game plan.
Are there any areas where you found yourself having to do more work than you did before you'd had this extended layoff? And how have you had to change your approach, any?
Really, I just kind of felt a little iced down. You know, the beginning of camp, everything was moving slow. My body was moving slow. I wasn't feeling 100% up to par. But week after week after week, you know, once in motion, you stay in motion. And I'm fully prepared for Saturday night. I'm looking forward to this performance back in Brooklyn. And I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have fun in there. It's been a long time coming, 22 months, the return of Keith "One-Time" Thurman.
Yeah, but it's going to feel good to be back under those lights, for sure. Keith, my friend, there's a belt that you're missing at the moment. Sean, the fight against Sean Porter is one of the fights that a lot of the fans want to see out there. Do you think that Sean is now a better fighter since you two last met?
I think he has more of an understanding of what it means to fight Keith Thurman. I wasn't fully impressed with his performance against Danny Garcia, though he did what I thought he would do. I think he lacked a little bit in defense. I think he could have done a little better in defense. He had better defense when he fought me, in my opinion, and maybe that was his respect for me and his lack of respect for Danny Garcia. But, you know, it was a great fight before, and if we fight again, it's going to be another great fight. So I am looking forward to getting that title back.
Keith, man, you got me laughing on the inside. You said I have a better understanding of how to fight you, and everything that you're saying to me right now, I'm like, or you're saying to us, I'm like, this is like classic Keith. I know all about Keith, man. It's gonna be a pleasure getting back in the ring with you. I hope you do your thing against Josesito Lopez. And you know I'm going to do my thing against Ugas, but I'm sure they want to know, the world wants to know, what do you think about my fight against Ugas? I mean, you got something coming up, I got something coming up, and then we can talk all about us.
That's right, man. I mean, you have a legitimate challenger to face, you know. I cannot overlook Saturday night. I must perform, and you cannot overlook Ugas. You must perform.
Well, thanks, everybody, for joining us today for this call to kick off the 2019 season of Premier Boxing Champions on Fox and Fox Deportes, live in prime time on Saturday, January 26th at the Barclays Center, the home of Brooklyn boxing. After a string of injuries sidelined him for nearly 2 years, WBA welterweight champion Keith "One-Time" Thurman returns to the ring to defend his title against the Riverside Rocky, Josesito Lopez, in one of the hottest divisions in boxing today. Television coverage for the event begins at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We also have an outstanding co-feature featuring fast-rising, unbeaten Polish heavyweight contender Adam Kownacki taking on former world title challenger Gerald Washington in a 10-round heavyweight bout. And it's great to be back at the Barclays Center, one of the best boxing venues in the country. Brooklyn boxing is now a very well-known brand because of the dedication to boxing and the support of Brett Yormark, the CEO of BSE Global. So now it's my pleasure to introduce the hard-hitting challenger from Riverside, California, the Riverside Rocky, Josesito Lopez. Jose?
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be showcasing my talent skills here in Brooklyn, and I thank Teacher Promotions, Fox and Fox Deportes for having me, and you won't be disappointed Saturday night.
We're still waiting for Keith to get on, so let's open it up for questions with Jose.
Ladies Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. And I'm waiting for callers to join the queue at this present time. Our first question is going to come from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, Josesito.
Hey, Dan Raphael, how you doing?
I'm doing great. My question for you is this. I mean, you've been in fights with a lot of big names over your career, and, have fought well in some of them, lost some of those fights against the best guys, but it seems like Thurman is one of the best names you'll have faced, but you're catching him coming off, I think it's almost exactly a 2-year layoff. Do you feel like coming into this fight that you're kind of getting him at the opportune time?
You know what? I'm not expecting that or counting on that. I prepared for the best Keith Thurman that I've seen. I think it's not easy coming back from a layoff. I know that myself because I was myself in a 2-year layoff about 2.5 years ago. So I know the feeling. I know the obstacles that you have to go through physically and mentally. So I can't assume it'll be easy. But either way, no matter what, he chose the wrong opponent to come back to, and I'm going to prove that.
So I was thinking, do you get at all offended that there are a lot of fans out there that say, Thurman, he's been one of the best welterweights for a long time. He's coming back off this layoff. So, obviously he's taken a quote-unquote easy guy to come back to. Does that sort of discussion irritate you, offend you, or just make you more motivated to go do what you have to do? What's your point of view on that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it offends me. I mean, there's a lot of casuals that don't understand the ins and outs and don't realize what I bring to the table. So, no, it's not bothersome, but, to a lot of people, to those people that are thinking that way, it's going to come as a surprise. But, for the people that really know boxing and that really know the inside of my camp and my training, it won't be a surprise when I pull off the victory.
So my last question is, what is it that you have to do excel at on Saturday to be able to turn back Keith Thurman, who you expect to be the best Keith Thurman that you've been seeing over the years?
You know what? Like I've mentioned before, I think overall in the fight, my skill, my power, and my will outshine all of these obstacles that I have to get through to get a victory against a champion like Keith Thurman. So I'm just going to plain out simply win.
All right, very good. I wish you good luck, Josesito, and I look forward to seeing you Saturday night.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from John Cutney from Breaded Boxing. Please go ahead.
Oh, hey, guys. Josesito, so you've been in a heavy underdog before. Sometimes it's gone well for you. Sometimes it hasn't. Can you tell us about your mental preparation for the fight?
I've had a great preparation. I've been training in the training camp, actually the same training camp that Mikey Garcia trains for his fights. I've had everything has gone great. It went perfect, so I can't complain about training camp. The road here hasn't been just this training camp. It's really been, a 3-fight training camp where I've been just working my way up into championship level with the help of Robert Garcia. He's helped me get into the best shape and best skills possible for a fight at this level. So I'm definitely championship level, and I'm going to prove that I'm championship material.
Great, thanks. So you've been in with some of the best in the world, including Canelo, the world's biggest star right now. Not all of those fights have gone your way, but does that overall give you confidence, having been in with that level of fighter going into this Thurman fight?
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily gives me confidence. I would say this is not a place where I haven't been before. My back's against the wall, per se. I'm going in against a champion. It's not my first time. And I'm going against a tough opponent, world champion. So, it's all somewhere where I've been before. It doesn't.
He has shown himself to be
the game. I'm not. This is not a new feeling. I'm going in. I know exactly what I have to do, and I just got to go out there and execute.
Okay, thanks a lot, Josesito. Good luck.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Dan Avila from the Riverside Press Enterprise. Please go ahead.
Jose, how you doing?
How's it going, Mr. Avila?
Very good, very good. You've been in the game quite a while now. What are some of your favorite two fights that you've had that people would know about? What two fights do you like to talk about or remember in particular?
You know what? I've had several great battles against some warriors, some very good champions. I would say most recent it would probably be versus Canelo and Maidana. Those were great battles. I had a big disadvantage against Canelo weight-wise, but I showed my true grit, my will, and Maidana was a very tough opponent, caught me with a good punch, and, was stopped early. But, I think what I bring to the table now is adding a little more intelligence and skill to that will that I've showed in previous past fights.
And you're training now with Robert Garcia and Riverside. Who are some of the guys that you're sparring with up there?
Oh, I've sparred absolutely everybody in the camp. I'm sparring guys as heavy as fighting at middleweight. I really can name them absolutely everyone from 140 to 160 that Robert Garcia has in Riverside training camp. I sparred them all. They've all helped me. For this training camp, I've pretty much sparred every undefeated fighter that we have, and I'm definitely prepared. I put in the work, and now it's time to execute.
My last question is, what's it like? I mean, you have about 5 or 6 guys that are all going to be fighting this weekend, including Ramirez, and you've got Virgil Ortiz, you got so many guys all in that same camp. What's it like where everybody's going to be fighting almost at the same time?
Well, I think when it comes down to the work in training camp, it's, we're all focused and mentally prepared for this moment. I know we all have different obstacles and going to different places in the world to fight, but we all want the same outcome for each one of us. So we're all prepared. It's great being amongst other champions and other great undefeated fighters training for the same goal that we all have. So definitely motivating, and we've all prepared well, and we're all ready to get a W.
Thanks a lot, Jose.
All right, thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Bernard Fernandez from The Sweet Science. Please go ahead.
Yeah, obviously, you're expecting to see the best Keith Thurman, but apart from being off for 2 years and questions of ring rust, he's coming back from 2 injuries that led to him being off to his right elbow and to his left hand. When a fighter has those sort of injuries and has to come back from that, does that put a little seed of doubt in his mind, that he could get hurt again, particularly with the hand injuries, because a lot of fighters have, it's affected them and what they do if they have bad hands.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, I'm not counting on that. I know that I've gone through the same thing, and, it's not quite the same the first fight back, or maybe even the second fight back, but, he's a champion, and he's obviously ready to come back, he feels like. So he must feel well with recovery. I'm definitely counting on seeing a good Keith Thurman, a refreshed Keith Thurman from a 2-year layoff. And, it's just like it can be a bad thing, it can also be a good thing. So that's something we can't know, really, till we're up in the ring.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question is going to come from Carlos Toro from Fightful. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Josesito, for taking time to talk to us. My first question is, obviously, you've known what it feels like to be out for a long time, and do you believe that, Thurman, him coming back, I know you're expecting him to be at his best, but in those first initial rounds, do you believe that that's the best time to take advantage of Keith Thurman while he's still trying to shake off the ring rust?
No, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I'm going in there with a smart game plan and, win round by round. But, we've worked on every aspect of our game, so we're prepared mentally and physically. So just going in there and then doing our thing. It's not necessarily going in there and trying to jump on them early, but I'm prepared to go as many rounds as it might take.
Do you feel like people are kind of overlooking you for this fight since Thurman has had the perfect record, has faced a lot of the top elite welterweights, and at one point was a unified champion? And if so, do you believe that? Do you have that added any motivation into this training camp?
I don't feel like people are overlooking me. People are overlooking me. It's shown. I don't mind it. Does it bother me? Not at all, really. It motivates me. It has motivated me. I'm definitely ready, and to whoever it might be a surprise to, I'm taking the championship belt this Saturday.
Lastly, of course, throughout your entire career, you've faced a lot of big names, from Canelo to Andre Berto, Marcus Maidana, and plenty of others. But in a lot of those fights, you didn't get the win, or you didn't get the result as you wanted. Have you kind of taken anything from those past big fights, and do you believe that now you are a better, or at least a different boxer compared to back then, and is that going to help you on Saturday night?
Yeah, for those that haven't seen me since some of those big fights that I had in previous years, you're definitely going to see an improved fighter. Overall, in my aspect of boxing, I had some good, tough battles against some good champions. But if you look back and look at my fights, you could say I was one step behind them, in whatever it might have been. When other opponents face those same fighters, those champions that I fought really displayed a lot more and was able to look a lot better against other opponents. But I'm definitely prepared. I'm ready to go. I'm anxious, and I can't wait to get this done.
Thank you, and best of luck on Saturday, Josesito.
Thank you, man.
Our next question is going to come from Cameron Buford from the LA News Observer. Please go ahead. Cameron, your line is open.
Hi, this is Cameron here. Josesito, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Sir, I got a question for you. A couple questions for you, actually. What concerns you most about Thurman going into the fight this weekend?
You know what? I'm aware of everything. I wouldn't say I'm just concerned of one thing, but I know he's obviously an undefeated champion for a reason. So he brings a lot to the table. He's skilled. He's strong. He has good movement. So I've just prepared for that. So I'm aware of everything that he brings to the table. I just got to go out there and execute my own plan.
Okay, sounds good. And you touched on people overlooking you for this fight in the previous question. What would you like boxing fans to know about you coming out of this fight on Saturday?
That you can't really judge a fighter by his wins and losses. I've had some tough defeats and some close defeats, but wins and losses aren't everything. I'm a better fighter than I've ever been, and I'm at my best. So, it doesn't matter how many bumps on the road I might have had throughout my career. I'm still going to be a world champion.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations, and good luck to you on the fight.
Thank you.
Okay, that's actually going to be the last question for Josesito, and then we're going to switch over to Keith Thurman. Josesito, do you have any closing comments?
No, I'd like to let everyone know that come Saturday night, you're going to see a great fight, a fight that you won't forget. And make sure you don't miss it, or you're there.
Great, thank you. Katina, can you clear out the queue? We'll start back up with Keith after Tom Brown formally introduces him. Tom, are you there?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, now I'd like to introduce the undefeated WBA welterweight champion of the world from Clearwater, Florida. He's got a record of 28-0, and it's great to have him back, Keith Thurman.
Hi, guys. How you guys doing today?
Keith, do you want to make some opening comments?
It's just great to be back. I'm looking forward to this fight. Back in Brooklyn, 22 months in the making. It's real exciting for me, for my team. I know a lot of fans miss me, and it's going to be a great show. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Keith, and now we'll open up for questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Our first question is going to come from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, Keith. Welcome back.
Thanks, Dan. How you doing?
I'm good. Keith, can you just maybe just describe a little bit if there were frustrations or what they were like as far as this long layoff, almost 2 years? I know you had multiple injuries that took you out of the game longer than you had originally anticipated. Could you just sort of explain if there were frustrations and what they were like for you?
Definitely. The elbow surgery, I kept pressing my doctor to give me a turnaround date, how long, doc? And I didn't understand why he kept really beating around the bush. He was very clever with his wording, and he pretty much never answered the question, no matter how many words he used. And I didn't understand until probably about 6 months after the surgery when I realized this is a long recovery because it's not healed yet, and I know I still need more time. So it was more of a 10-month to a full 12-month recovery, which would have been okay. It's not the longest layoff. That was frustrating in itself, but luckily for me, I spent a lot of time with my wife in Kathmandu, Nepal, and I was surrounded by her family and just a lot of new life experiences, and I was able to cope with that. When I was trying to get back in the ring and I had another injury due to my left hand, that's when I just was like, man, this is not fun. I just want to get back into the sport. I wish somebody could tell me what day I'm going to be back in the ring. And it just was.
Hello?
I think we lost Keith.
I think we lost him. Hopefully we can get him back.
Thurman got injured.
Yes, we will. One more.
Keith got injured, y'all.
Yes, she got disconnected. If you give me one moment, I can get her back.
foam was too heavy for his hand, so he injured his palm. He got a minor neck sprain.
One moment, she'll be back on the line.
Okay.
Okay, we have Lisa on the line. Okay, I'm sorry, one moment.
Katina, it's Lisa, I have Keith.
Okay, she's back on the line.
What?
Keith, are you there?
Out that gate.
Yep, I'm here.
Sorry, everybody. Okay, Keith's back now.
Keith, I think you're in the middle of talking about the frustrations after the hand injury that came after the elbow surgery.
Yeah, it just was very frustrating for me. I really just wanted to have a fight date. I wanted to be able to get back into the ring. And, the doctors were telling me, you're not going to be out forever, this and that. And I'm like, it just feels like forever. It just felt like a long time. So I'm just truly happy to be back with this fight date against a truly game fighter. I think this is a great comeback fight for myself. Josesito Lopez has been moving up. He's been catching some momentum. He's got a new trainer, new set of confidence. He wants to showcase his skills and talent. I want to remind the world who Keith Thurman truly is. And, the last two opponents that I fought, Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, one counterpuncher, one was a straight-in bull. And I'm expecting a completely different kind of fight. So I'm looking forward to this.
And so, Keith, it was the right elbow in the left hand, correct?
That's right.
Now, how are they now? Are you as healthy as you've been going into a fight coming off this layoff, or are you still having any issues with anything?
Well, the hand is actually a little bit of the doctor told me it may need monitoring throughout my whole career, which isn't like we fighters have gone through that many times. Some have to get surgeries and things like that. I'm hoping to avoid such things, but we'll see what happens in the future.
The conference is now being recorded.
Was there ever a moment?
I don't know what the fuck just happened. They shit fucked up, y'all. They shit fucked up. That's not me. Well, I think they fixed it. Is that Pac-Man?
Lisa, you can start talking now.
I'm sorry about that. Blame it on Dan.
Okay, maybe we do. Okay, Dan, do you have any more questions?
DJ was going crazy.
Do we still have Dan, or do we lose everybody?
No, can you press star one again to get back into line?
Can everyone please press star one? Let's start with a clean slate. It's like brand new year. Okay. Oh, good. If we're getting people into the queue. Dan, do you have any more questions?
I had one more question.
Okay.
All right, we good now? We good? All right, Keith. When you were in the middle of all this layoff thing, you didn't, your elbow was giving you problems, and the hand is now an issue. Was there ever a point where you were so down that you thought, you know what, I might not be able to box again, or did it never get to that point? And if it did, how did you deal with that?
You know, the worst part is, the truth is, I've been out of the ring for 2 years. I was 28 years old the last time I fought. I'm 30 now. Just a little disappointing, missing some of those years of my youth. But luckily, I still am in my prime. I have tons to give. And just being in shape now motivates me for my future. Watching Manny Pacquiao win a fight at 40 years old also motivates me. You know, so there were moments where I had some morbid thinking and negative thoughts, but at the end of the day, we're back in action, and we're really excited, and we're looking forward to the future.
All right, very good. Thank you, Keith, and I look forward to Saturday's fight.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Broner from Carlos Toro. Please go ahead.
Hi, Keith. First, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. Speaking of Manny Pacquiao, who you just mentioned a second ago, I mean, obviously your focus is on Josesito Lopez this Saturday, but having just seen Manny Pacquiao fight, and both of you are holding the WBA welterweight titles, even though yours is the top, or at least the superior version of that title, is that fight something that kind of interests you for down the road?
I mean, it does interest me. I just know he's interested in fighting Mayweather again, you know. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand how much money they're going to generate. Even if they were to generate half the income that they did last time, some people believe that that people don't want to see it. But I tend to find out people watch what's on TV. So it's interesting. I would love an opportunity to fight a legend such as Manny Pacquiao. I never had the opportunity to negotiate any fights against Floyd Mayweather. So if I was ever given such an opportunity, it would be an honor, and I would definitely take it.
You know, it's been 2 years almost 2 years since you last fought, and since that time, we've seen guys like Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter and Errol Spence Jr. become welterweight champions in their own right, and they've kind of made their own case as the best fighter in the division. Or you're looking at this fight as not just a simple title defense, but an opportunity to reestablish yourself as the best fighter at 147 pounds and kind of show people why you were the unified champion 2 years ago?
Well, definitely. You know, we're back on the stage, so we're going to perform. We're going to give you guys a great performance. And, you know, I mean, you guys are the critics. You know, you get to say what Keith Thurman looks like and who looks like they're about to be the top guy and X, Y, and Z and all that stuff. But I've always, you know, like I stated when we first were on Fox, I've always been the original problem. I am the truth. I'm swift. You know, we went from Showtime to Fox. I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, I belong here. I belong here. I've been telling people that Keith Thurman was ranked number one. 2 years out, do I hold my position? Some people say yes. Some people say no. Let's say I don't hold my position. Where do you put Keith Thurman? Oh, if he's not number one, maybe he's number two. Oh, wait, but you also have that Crawford guy there. Well, then he's number three. Look, man, I worked my whole life to be at the top of the game. And if you're ranked number 1, 2, or 3, you at the top, you know? So I don't stress that stuff. I don't look at anything negative. I constantly focus on the positive, and I'm stepping back in the ring against Josesito Lopez to remind the world who Keith Thurman is, what it looks like when he's fighting, how entertaining I can be, and that I'm an elite fighter at 147.
All right, Keith, thank you so much. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from George Willis from New York Post. Please go ahead.
Hi, Keith. How you doing?
Good.
Could you sort of put dates or at least time frames to, your first surgery on the elbow, when you thought it was going to be good, and then when you injured your left hand, so, we have a pretty good time reference on that?
Well, the doctor wouldn't give me a turnaround date, which frustrated me a little bit. And I just had to go based off of feel. And it really did feel good after a year. We started to get into a camp, and then we re-injured ourselves, and it just prolonged the whole process. So,
when did you start that camp, and then you got re-injured?
It was roughly about, I kind of started that camp about a year ago from now, actually.
Okay, great. And now you're coming back when the welterweight landscape has got a few more players in it than, I guess, before, when it was just maybe you and Sean and Danny. And now you've got some other names in there. Do you feel like this is the right time? I mean, you got all this live streaming services and the Fox deal, and people are looking at boxing a little more, and you've got a lot of welterweights out there. Is this the perfect time for you to reestablish yourself?
It's a beautiful moment in the sport of boxing, and I'm truly blessed to be at the top. That's how I feel. I've always known that we were going to be here one day, but luckily for me, the day is today. This is going to be my first appearance on Fox. Fox is highly dedicated to what they're doing in the sport. You have the streaming services. You got ESPN dishing out more money than HBO was before HBO got out of the game. I mean, I just believe that for the sport of boxing and for a lot of the top fighters and top contenders, this is just a great moment to be a part of a beautiful sport, which is boxing. I'm happy to be here. I'm looking forward to my return, this performance Saturday night, and I'm going to give you guys a good show.
Great. I appreciate it, Keith. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Keith Ida from the boxing scene. Please go ahead.
Hey, Keith. I know you can't get inside Floyd Mayweather's head, but it obviously pertains to you moving forward as to whether you might be able to fight Manny Pacquiao. So do you think that Floyd is going to come back and fight Manny, or what is your gut feeling on that?
90%. 90%.
That he'll come back?
It has nothing to do with, like, Floyd said everything when he said absolutely nothing. A lot of people don't know how to read body language the way I do. When the question was asked and Floyd said absolutely nothing, he actually almost looked in the other direction. He actually started to look away from the camera instead of towards the camera. And really, it was a simple, it's not like he flinched. He didn't do a lot of movement. It was very subtle. But by sometimes not saying something does mean that you're saying a lot. And pretty much what he said is, why are you asking me a question? I don't answer questions. Show me a state. You need to give me a statement. You need to tell me that you're going to give me $150 million up front, and then you're going to give me my kickback on the pay-per-view, and then we can start to actually negotiate, and you'll get some answers, but not from asking questions. You see what I'm saying? That's the way Floyd Mayweather thinks. He's a very smart and brilliant businessman, tremendous fighter. They're both past their prime. Floyd beat him once.
Keith, are you still there?
Keith's got injured again.
Hello?
His line is active, but he's not saying anything.
He sprained his voice box. Damn, he was getting some good information, too. Damn, they did us dirty.
Well, I'm going to go on to the next person. Our next question is going to come from Bernard Fernandez from the Sweet Science. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Keith, my question is about the left hand injury, because obviously a boxer's hands are his tools, and there have been more than a few fighters who have developed chronic hand injuries, and it's impacted their careers, in some instances even ended it. And you said that, this could possibly be something that is a lingering concern. When you first injured that hand, how painful was it? And is there any concern that this could be something that could be a lingering issue? Because obviously, hand injuries are going to impact all boxers, but particularly punchers, and you're a good puncher.
He aggravated it.
Hold on 1 second, Bernard. Is Keith on?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay. Can we just jump quickly back to Keith Idec and finish it up, because we dropped for a second, but we're back. This is one for the books, people. Katina, can you open Keith Idec's line back up really quickly?
Steve Idec, he's the main guy from boxing scene. He's the where all the big news comes from. If you guys don't know.
Sorry, Bernard. Hang on 1 second. Okay, Keith, go ahead, and then Keith Idec ask Keith Thurman, and then
So
we'll
that's
go
why
back
they're
to
going
Bernard.
back to
I'm sorry,
him.
Bernard.
Okay, so you can hear me, Lisa?
Loud and clear.
Hello? Okay, thank you. The one for the books is an understatement, but Keith, can you just elaborate a little bit more on what you were saying before we got cut off there? You were saying that Floyd said, give me $150 million and then upside, but can you just continue on that thought you were
He
telling
want
us
that
there?
story.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Floyd's silent talk is really him saying, give me a statement, not a question, of $150 million up front, whatever the numbers may be. It just needs to be pleasing to the ears before Floyd will consider it. But it's really hard for any human being to not take $100 million or greater for a 36-minute performance. I believe if Floyd was to make half of what he did against Pacquiao the first time, it's still worth it. It's still worth it, man. They're both past their prime. And Floyd is just a very slick boxer. Even though he does throw one punch at a time, similar to what Adrian Broner did, he just does it way more effectively. He has better defense, better movement throughout the ring with a ring awareness. And he beat him once. I think he would beat him twice. And I think Manny Pacquiao would be able to retire happily after such a paycheck. So that's why I say the likelihood, in my opinion, is 90%. Of course, I would love to be wrong. Because that would open up doors for me. Hopefully it would open up doors for me to negotiate against the legend Manny Pacquiao. But we'll see. There's tons of opportunities at 147. So regardless, I still have a beautiful job.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but Keith, do you think he would beat Pacquiao in similar fashion to last time, or worse?
I think probably similar. It could end up being worse, I mean, all it takes is the right connection at the right time. But it should be similar, Floyd is just very cautious. He pot shots, and he's just very accurate when he does so. He snaps throughout his whole career. He was snapping heads back, hitting them with that jab to the body, doing, little curveball change-ups, slow, fast, doing his best to be very unpredictable. And, I think he would just craftily coast his way to victory once again.
I have one last question for you, Keith. What has it been like for you? I know it's been frustrating, obviously, for you to deal with these injuries, but you've gotten some backlash from fans and media, whether it's fair or not, that's who's to say. But how has it been for you? Because obviously it's been most frustrating to you to not be able to fight. So what has it been like to deal with that backlash for you?
Yeah, man, I can care less what people say and what they think about Keith Thurman and, he's ducking guys, he's getting injured to avoid people. I'm a seven-figure fighter, man. I mean, there's a lot of money out there to be made, and I've worked really hard my whole life since the age of 7. I'm 30 in the game. there's just a lot of people that really don't understand what it means to be a world-class fighter. And so a lot of opinions just really don't get to me. If anything, some of them were humorous. And my favorite, I'm Keith one-time Thurman, I'm Keith run-time Thurman, Keith sometime Thurman, but Keith once upon a time Thurman, that was pretty amusing.
Thanks for your time, Keith. I appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Our next question is going to come from Bernard Fernandez from the Sweet Science. Please go ahead.
Okay, Keith, a question I asked before, and I don't remember if you still remember it, but
no, I didn't hear it at all.
Yeah, I mean, the fighter's hands are his tools, and if your tools are damaged, it can impact and even end careers. With the left-hand injury, and you kind of alluded that, this possibly could be a continuing concern. You're a puncher, that probably impacts it even more. How painful was it when you incurred this? And how much concern do you have that this could be a
over the keys to victory for Keith Thurman using the Fox Sports
over and over again?
Well, when it occurred, it was painful enough to where it hurt to land a jab on my sparring partner with 16-ounce gloves. So that's when I knew if I can't punch my sparring partner with a jab, I'm not going to have a fight date. So, and in the back of my head, yeah, we're a little worried about things going into the future, but we're also doing our best to stay positive because we feel great. We're ready for this fight. And I just want my health to hold up because I just want to be an active fighter at the top of the welterweight division once again. And no matter what happens, I believe that I will be able to do that, even if I do have to monitor things. Maybe I do have to make adjustments in my fight style or things of that nature. I'll do whatever it takes to continuously showcase the skills and talent that I have. I've always been versatile, and there's many ways to get to the finish line when it comes to a 12-round championship bout. So, I didn't knock out Sean. I didn't knock out Danny. I'm hard to beat, even if I'm not trying to knock you out. So, at the end of the day, I have confidence.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question is going to come from Cameron Buford from the LA News Observer. Please go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Thurman, thank you for your time answering our questions, sir. My first question for you is, what did you learn about yourself in this 22-month layoff? What did you learn about yourself, sir?
Well, I've had the longest layoff prior to this was a 14-month layoff. So I've had layoffs in my career. I didn't learn anything new from that aspect, but what I did learn is a little bit about, getting back in shape. Because some people would think, was he still training? Was he doing this and that? And, not being able to punch first my elbow was hurt. I couldn't punch with my right hand. So I don't want to be hitting the bag with only my left. And then I hurt my left, and now my right's good. And I don't want to just really hit the bag with just my right. So, and it was a little depressing. So I ended up not doing a lot. And when I felt good and I knew we were going to create a fight date, I had to tell myself, hey, man, you got to wake up, you got to get moving, and you got to be a champion again. And, I knew I could do it, but I learned a lot in the process of doing it. And I also believe that I learned that even though I can do it, I should not. You know, there's many things in life that you could do that's things that you should not do, you know. So, yes, I can get back in shape in 10 weeks' time, and I can be ready to perform a 12-round fight. I did start moving around a little bit before prior just 10 weeks, but real camp was about a 10-week camp. So at the end of the day, I would love to stay healthy and stay active. And even if I'm not healthy, I think I'm ready to stay active, you know. Take a Tom Brady approach to the sport of boxing, take a Bernard Hopkins approach to the sport of boxing, you know. I kind of, what I've learned is actually, I'm still learning it. And I want to carry this into the coming years, especially this year and the further years down the line. So that's pretty much what I've gotten from this experience.
Okay, thank you, man. That was a pretty good answer. Now, you mentioned a couple of times Pacquiao fighting at 40. You mentioned B-Hop. B-Hop, we know he fought over 40. You mentioned Tom Brady. He's playing over 40. Are you saying that you want to fight over 40 years old?
Yes, motherfucker. That's what he said.
No. It's always been my lifelong dream to retire young and successful. I just keep debating what young age that is, you know, especially with some career setbacks. And also, I would like to have an option to retire, but maybe not necessarily need to retire. And really, in reference to Manny Pacquiao, Bernard Hopkins, and Tom Brady, even Floyd Mayweather, really, when I look at these individuals, it's really just inspiring for a man in my situation. It's very inspiring. It really keeps me in a positive light. Even witnessing Pacquiao win the other weekend, it just, matter of fact, after he won, I pulled a Floyd Mayweather, and I ended up running 3 miles in the rain at 2:30 in the morning.
What the fuck is he talking
about?
about?
It just something about seeing a 40-year-old man being victorious just said, you know, you got this. You know, it doesn't matter what God throws at you, what obstacles. You're here for a reason, and you got this. Not every individual is an individual. Some people have greater success than others. I'm not here to go tit for tat with any champion of the world. I'm here for my own story. I'm here for my own legacy.
Got it. I love that answer, Chief. Last question for you is, what concerns you most about Lopez this weekend, going into the fight this weekend? What concerns you most about him?
His confidence. He shouldn't have any. What's up with that?
Appreciate your time, Chief.
But in all seriousness, you know, I'm interested in seeing where this confidence comes from. You know, there's got to be a logical reason. You know, where's it coming from? You know, I know he knows he's a little smarter. Maybe he's a little stronger. Maybe he just feels faster. I don't know. He's going to have to show me where this confidence comes from. He's fully aware of my boxing style and that I do bring a lot into the ring. Speed, power, movement. So, you know, yet he's still confident. So I want to see what's that all about Saturday night. And he's had tough fights. He's a real dog. He doesn't mind. He doesn't mind mixing it up, and I'm prepared for that. But I just feel like, you know, maybe he is a new Josesito Lopez. But what is new? I'll find out in a few days.
We all will. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, our last question is going to come from John Cudney from Reddit Boxing. Please go ahead.
Thanks for your time, Keith. I know this call has gone on long. So this is a question for the fans. Can you promise an explosive performance on Saturday night, or is this fight more about making sure your body is 100%? What can fans look forward to?
Really, I just want to have fun. I want to have fun. I want to move around the ring. I want to see how much I can mix it up. It's been so long since I've been punched by 8-ounce gloves. So there's just a lot to look forward to for myself, for the fans. You know, I've been very accurate in camp. You know, I do feel sharp. And I just want to know how this sharpness is going to play out against another man that's prepared, that's been preparing for this 12-round performance. Am I going to be able to land my counters the moment that I want to land them? Is everything really going to go my way? Is it going to be smooth? Is it going to be rough? Is it going to be tough? But the fans should expect to see a world-class performance from world-class fighters, especially from myself. So, you know, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to be looking to land some big punches, and I'm going to be looking to win the rounds, you know, because if you're not getting the knockout, you still want to win the fight. So we'll see what happens. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's going to be fun. 22 years, Keith one-time Thurman, or 22 months, Keith one-time Thurman is back.
Okay, thanks a lot, Keith. Good luck.
Thank you.
We actually do have one more question from Eddie Goldman from No Holds Bar. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hi, Keith. We hear a lot about ring rust in general with you coming back from this layoff, but for you specifically, what are the toughest aspects of returning after the layoff? Is it physical or mental or timing or stamina or what exactly for you?
Well, for me, probably the biggest one, which I still feel confident about, is the timing. Like I said, my timing was sharp against the sparring partners, but I'm not fighting my sparring partners, and neither is he fighting his sparring partners, you know? So at the end of the day, I just hope that I can do what Ben Getty used to always say: if you do your homework, you pass the test. You know, I just hope that in the gym, when 2 + 2 = 4, Saturday night, 2 + 2 = 4, that really there shouldn't be a new equation. This is boxing. I know how to handle myself in the ring. I know how to scope out my opponent, look for the openings, and piece my punches together at the right moments. And that's what I'm looking forward to Saturday night.
And do you have to try to do anything differently now that you mentioned you turned 30? That do you have to do anything differently than you did earlier in your career, aside from coming back from the layoff?
The only thing differently that I really made sure that I did because of the layoff is I just guaranteed myself 10 weeks of a real training camp over the allotted 8 weeks that I normally do. And I might need to continue that at this stage and at this age, just to guarantee that that I stay sharp, you know, and that I can't say to myself, you didn't give yourself enough time to prepare for the fight.
Okay, perfect. That was our last question. Keith, thank you so much. Media, thanks so much for hanging in there with us. You guys have been on a lot of these. Doesn't usually happen, so, you know. Keith, thank you so much. Welcome back to the fold. Welcome back to the ring. And see you during fight week. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining. You now disconnect and have a great day.
That's one thing I always liked about Keith Thurman is that whenever you talk to him, and I've talked to him many, many times, he always is good on the microphone, and he always just runs his mouth. So as a media member, it's awesome because there's nothing that's never off limits with him. So it's fight week. It is January the 22nd, 2019, 5:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. Now, we cover all media calls. And if that wasn't a bad media call, listen, I've been through some shitty media calls. Miguel Cotto. Oh, we're back. We had a very, very successful weekend. Even though we wasn't promoted by YouTube, we wasn't suggested, we wasn't recommended. Still, nonetheless, we pulled very, very, very good numbers. Solid, great numbers under the circumstances. So now we're moving on. As you know, we don't get any breaks. The new network deals are in full force now. The new streaming services. Fighters got new contracts everywhere. It's so much money. There's a lot of money in boxing this year. There's a lot of money in boxing this year. This weekend on free TV in New York, I decided not to go. I'm glad I didn't go. I'm having an issue where if I apply for example, I have a strange feeling that if I would have applied for Pacquiao versus Broner, I would have got approved. But the thing is, y'all know, hold on, I got to fix this. This looks dumb. Let me fix this real quick. It's pissing me off. But when I want to send people, so for example, y'all know what we want to do, right? I want to be here doing all this stuff while we have our person there, you know, and soon we want to have our own live streams coming. You know how I do my live streams? You know, when I'm at an event, how we get like everything, even though sometimes the quality, because I'm shooting on the phone, I'm not shooting on a bad phone, but you're moving around. The internet connection sometimes be bad when you're moving around in there. So I want to be like here, but have somebody there, like live streaming, like everything, like the whole everything. You know why I'm here at the command center? But they want me to be flying to these events. And it's like, why can't I be an entrepreneur? Why can't I send people to events? You know? So that should be burning me up. But however, we did win this weekend because finally CBS has stopped messing with my content. So we're friends again. So what I've been telling them to do for the longest is basically don't mess with my post-fight videos. I know that my post-fight videos are legal. They legal as fuck. Because I do them expecting for them to be taken down. Because I really don't want to sue nobody. I don't want to. I don't want to have to sue nobody. But I've had to threaten to sue, and I've had to cover my track because, you know, I don't want to be one of those, you know, people that, you know, the saying goes back in the day that I learned growing up is, yeah, they did. Crazy. So what it is no, basically it's a give and take type of relationship. So instead of them blocking my videos, what they're doing is they finally monetizing my shit. That's cool. Don't just block the video because then nobody gets to see it. The fans, the supporters, you guys get pissed off. I get pissed off. And then my lawyer gets pissed off. And then CBS, they don't win because they've taken down free promotion. You see what I'm saying? They've taken down free promotion. So I just was thinking, like, what the fuck are they doing? Because I'm the one that can tell you, y'all some fucking motherfuckers for not buying fucking pay-per-views. Who brought Mayweather? No, who brought Pacquiao Broner? No, honest to God, I can't tell you. I can't tell you to buy another Broner fight. If he ever makes it back to pay-per-view again, which I don't think he will, I can never tell you to buy another hit from that shit. My job is, you know, okay, I would tell, like, listen, I'm all for pay-per-view. I'm all for it. I love, you know, I'm all for it because I know that boxing needs that money. We haven't got to a point in boxing right now where right now the zone is doing it. The zone is doing it. You know, they got a lot of crazy investors to be able to give, fights away for $9.99 a month, man. Shit. How much do you think it costs to produce Canelo versus Fielding? I'm talking about from paying Canelo, all the production costs and everything. How much do you think that shit cost? So we're gonna talk about that. I think I'm getting the hiccups. We're gonna talk about why I feel that was different if you broke. If you broke, then that's cool. But if you one of them son of a bitches that you went out, you got fucking new fucking Jordans or some shit, or I don't like you. I think you're scum. You're lower than a serpent's belly, man. Y'all want to be talking? No. Okay, I have issues with the people who talk about how much the fighters should be making, but then they don't buy the sport. That's let me tell you, that's where my real beef started with Boxing Ego at. It started when, I'm not gonna tell you where it started. I want to talk about that. But I'm gonna tell you where the real beef. When it's like he telling motherfuckers to stream fights, but yeah, you making bread from YouTube promoting fights. I just was like, yeah, but but it's all $74.99 was overboard, but that's the benchmark right now. Inflation. You know how the old people, I was trying to tell you how much motherfucking milk used to cost and shit back in the day? And you be like, I'm not trying to hear that shit. That shit is $3 now for potato bread. I remember back in the day, this potato bread used to be $1. This shit ain't no dollar no more, bro. You too old. No disrespect. You gotta let it go. But yeah, inflation, man. We know when Mayweather fights, it's going to be $100. Unless he fights Berto, then they'll be like, all right, $84.99, $74 in high definition. No, in standard D. Yeah, no, listen, but, y'all making just excuses. I'm not trying to hear it. Wilder Fury 2 would be worth $100. Don't give them no ideas. Don't get me started. That's a big fucking fight. That's a big fucking fight. Don't get me started. So let's get into Thurman versus Lopez. You know what I can't wait to see? I can't wait to see how Thurman reacts when he gets punched right in the breadbasket. Josesito Lopez, they not stupid. Doesn't Lopez, he trains up in Robert Garcia's gym, but he's with Henry Ramirez, something like that, right? Or is he with Robert Garcia? Man, I don't know. Wait, no, he is. We talked to Robert Garcia. No, we didn't. No, we ain't talked to him about Lopez, did we? No, we didn't. No, he's not with him. Who's his trainer? It's Henry, right? Henry Ramirez. He trains Areola too. Who? Who's his trainer? But Thurman, he does seem to be really, really concerned. Like it scarred him. The injuries have scarred him. It seems to really be, he doesn't seem sure of himself, if that makes sense. Like basically he's going to go in there to fight to not be hurt. So I expect for him to go rounds. But Josesito Lopez, as we've seen, visor and homie, but he always been his homie. I'm confused. Who is his trainer? Y'all not telling me nothing. You know what? Let me just go look this shit up. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all pissing me off. I was wondering, it was getting cold in here because my heat just turned on. I got that shit on 60, so I'm like, I was wondering why I was freezing. I think that Thurman's going to do the rounds. But Josesito Lopez is very dangerous. And remember the Andre Berto fight? That was a really questionable stoppage to me. However, I can show y'all the clip under fair use, but I really don't feel like fucking with them or them fucking with me, so I'm not even going to do it. But go back and watch Berto versus Lopez. It was PBC on Spike. And I remember watching it, and then remember Berto went on to get what he called the harvest. Remember he was like tweeting all that shit, and like, you saw him in training, but we knew he was going to get the Mayweather fight because nobody wanted to believe that Mayweather was going to fight either Kareem Mayfield or Berto, but he really did fight Berto. But the fight before, it was Josesito Lopez, and it was PBC on Fox. And it was a questionable stoppage. And from my understanding, let's go look at it real quick. Is it on this screen? Damn it, I got my screens all messed up. I got to fix this. Let's go over here. Let's go look at the cards. I believe this was a very close fight. Or Lopez was up on the cards. Yeah, look, Lopez was up for them. Well, it was kind of shady cards. 50-45, 47-48. It was a close fight. And then when that stoppage happened, it just was weird. And I was like, wait a minute, is this the old fix shit? Is the fixing? But, since then, he's been relatively inactive. He had that one fight against Berto, 2015, one fight against Tan Manuel, 2016, one fight 2017, one fight 2018, and now he got the Thurman fight. But remember, he was supposed to get Thurman, though, back in 2018. They've been talking about him and Lopez. Lopez has been penciled in as his. In fact, I talked to Thurman. This was supposed to be Lopez right here. Thurman right here. I believe, if I'm correct. So technically, Lopez's career has kind of been on hold because of Thurman. But can he do it, though? Can he do it? It is Robert Garcia. He won't be at the fight on Saturday. Who is he with? I guess he got to make sure Mikey right. I guess. Yeah. Look at the fights he's been in. Remember Andre Berto, Marcos Maidana, Saul Canelo Alvarez, Jesse Vargas, and then some guy named Edgar Santana. I remember him. I don't know who I've seen him. I remember him. Yeah, Lamont Peterson. I covered this fight. Yeah, I covered that fight. So Wes Ferguson, I don't know this guy. Do I? Nah. I don't know this guy. But remember what happened when he got the Victor Ortiz fight. Oh, y'all can't see it. I'm tripping. Why didn't y'all tell me the screen wasn't up? I wish y'all would have told me. Y'all be good for nothing sometimes, man. I be wondering what y'all be thinking. Y'all don't give me no help. Here. And there we go. So, he's got 7 losses. But remember when he fought Victor Ortiz, Canelo was sitting ringside. Broke Victor Ortiz's jaw. And we was like, we really thought Victor Ortiz quit, but his jaw was broke. Then, of course, he went on to get, Canelo. Canelo just murdered him with uppercuts. Then went on to get Marcos Maidana. They was going to war. Remember that. They was going to war. So the fights he's had, and at this point in time, he was a 140-pound fighter going up and down in weight. Yeah, I seen it. I got to watch the Thurman stuff. I got it on my DVR. I'm going to catch up on it. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing the face-to-face. Basically, this right here is going to be edited out. No bullshit. I'm really on my work today. I'm really on my work. So this is going to count as my fight week preview. And then tomorrow I'm going to review the face-to-face, and also the media workout is tomorrow. And then Thursday we're going to be back here for the final press conference, the weigh-in, and what's the other fight this week? What's the other Adam Kownacki? What's the other card this week? I'm tripping. Oh, Jaime Munguia on the zone against Takashi Inoue. So let's get back to this. So, remember, like, he was a 140-pound fighter when he moved up to fight Victor Ortiz. Then he moved up even further to fight Saul Canelo Alvarez. Then moved back down to 147 to fight Marcos Maidana. But at this point in time, he wasn't a full 147-pounder. Then he went on to fight, some very credible fights against Mike Ornadas, Aaron Martinez, who should have, ended Robert Guerrero, Rafael Combs. Then he got the next big break, got Andre Berto, questionable stoppage. So when you look at his career has been, solid as fuck. Mike Dallas Jr., he got that win over. Split decision against Jesse Vargas. No, the TJ Doheny fight put me to sleep. That's why I had to cover it. Robert Guerrero came back. He came back on a dark match on Wilder Fury 2. It was untelevised. Yeah, that TJ Doheny fight put me to sleep, and then I had to cover the fights the next day. Put me right to sleep. But remember, I was sick as shit last week. I was in the hospital and everything. My week was all fucked up. But we recovered well. We got our videos out on Friday and Saturday, and then, we went through it on Saturday. But this week, as you can see, it's Tuesday. I don't got shit to do. And also, I sprained my ankle. Y'all want to see it? I can't lift it. I got my drawers on. Nah, I got my drawers on. Yeah, I can't. I sprained my motherfucking ankle. And you know how, I used to always think that basketball players was bitches. But motherfucker, sprained ankle ain't nothing. Let me tell you, you can't do shit with a sprained ankle. That shit is I've been really debilitated. Now, I've been still doing shit, but it's whack. So, looking at his career has been pretty solid. But, Keith, the question is, he says that he wants to have a long career. For example, he said that he says he wants to fight 3 times this year. And right now, he can fight now. He's on Manny Pacquiao's timeline. He can fight right now. And then fight in June or July. And then fight in November or December. Right? Oh, now I know. Oh, now I know. Now I know. Now I know. I did not know motherfucking sprained ankle was that fucking bad. I got this big ass knot, right on my motherfucking side of my motherfucking ankle. And I already had a little limp, but yeah, that shit is whack. But anyway, people have been wondering, if he still has the passion to fight. You see what I'm saying? Or is he going to be, is he, I guess, I heard about is he a broken fighter? Is he a broken fighter? What happens, people thought that he was broken to the belly when Luis Collazo punched him in the stomach. And then Sean Porter. So Josesito Lopez has don't talk about no broke ankle, man, because I thought it was broke, but obviously it wasn't, because you can't move your shit if it's broke, and your shit will swell up like a motherfucker. It's just in that, it's definitely sprained. But from the looks of it, my shit gonna be fucked up for a couple weeks. But let's get back. But is Thurman a broken fighter? Mentally. Will he be out there going, he's been in some tough battles. Remember, he was in 3 straight tough fights. Collazo, Porter, Danny Garcia, and then after layoffs. And he's expected, to run. I don't think people are expecting him to run through Lopez. I think people are expecting him to get the rounds in. But they want to see what is he, remember the Keith Thurman before, he was kind of an animal. He was an animal. Remember how he went there toe-to-toe with Sean Porter? Even when his back was on the ropes, he just was firing. Accurate shit. That left hook that almost ended Sean Porter, it didn't. I can't say almost. Sean Porter got his chin. Or remember the one in the middle of the ring? Where Sean Porter had to grab you, hold on to his back. People want to know because he still has the age. He has the skills. But it's not the same like it was. It's like people are wondering about his mentality. He's a very intelligent man. We know that already. But we wondering if that killer instinct, that come at me, that come at me. Is it still in there? Don't duck me. Is it still in there? The guy that was, calling out Paulie Malignaggi and Robert Guerrero, and they was ducking him when he was trying to work his way up. I remember I had an interview with him at Danny Garcia versus Sergio Mora, 1 or 2. I forgot which one I was at. I think it was 1. It was 1. And he was talking about how when you're the WBA Super World Champion, there's another that you're on a cloud, that you have no mandatory. But yet he's in that situation because basically when he was at WBA World, the WBA wouldn't order him to fight Floyd, and he was upset about that. But now he's in a situation where he is the WBA Super World. And you got to think, remember, it's all about sanctioning fees. So you can't tell me that the WBA aren't licking their chops, waiting for the end of Thurman versus Lopez to order Thurman versus Pacquiao. They're going to order it. Come on, you boxing fans are smart enough. It's the WBA. They want that money. They're going to order the shit out that fight. Oh, but wait, they ordered, Povetkin versus Joshua. They're going to order the shit out of that. And I think the way Heyman works is I think he's going to, if he wins, he's going to get the Pacquiao fight. Pacquiao has to return in June or July, no later, because he has to go back to the, like, he can't fight past July. He's made that's been made clear. He has to go back to the Philippines because, you know, to finish his politics. Danny Garcia is fighting in April. He's not on a Pacquiao timeline. That's not happening. Don't even, people say, well, you know, he can fight in April if he don't get cut. Then motherfuckers, those are casual fans who say shit like that. He can fight in April and then not get cut and then go and fight again. That Canelo shit was different with Golovkin and Canelo. That was different. Yup, it'll be for like the yup. I guarantee yup. And then the DSD versus Ganado is going to be for the WBA interim or some old bullshit like that. Watch. So when it comes to even Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia, they're not on that timeline. It's possible. I'm just about to get Pacquiao. It's possible. But just like Heyman, you know how all fighters, why would they be reporting that? Adam Ali, hey, somebody put Adam Ali, no, don't put him on timeout. But for you to bring some trash boxing news like that to my channel, some channels are reporting Broner versus Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia ain't even fight yet. Broner ain't even fight. But yes, it can make sense. But why y'all saying this? They just what? But no, they're not gonna do that to Broner. I'm sorry, they're not gonna do that to Broner. And also, Danny Garcia and Broner are friends. But no, Broner's gonna be rebuilt again. They're not gonna do that to Broner. He's still fucking shit hurts. Come in here with that bullshit news. Yeah, oh yeah, if Lopez win, he could fuck up a lot of shit. They still working on the round for round boxing game. My partner knows. What's crazy, you know, the guy who's creating the game, he was like, we've been like friends and playing Fight Night for the longest. He be using game genie codes and shit. But he been working on the video. Yes, we're affiliated with a video game. We got an affiliation who working on a boxing game, like a legit boxing game. But that's a whole nother video we got to talk about. There's a whole nother video. We got a lot. I'm wearing a lot of hats. I'm doing a lot of shit. But anyway, let's pull up the rankings for the WB for the Sean Porter WBC champion. When is his fight is coming up? It's in March. When is his fight? Against Ugas. I don't feel like I can just Google it. Fuck it. I'm just gonna Google it. March the 9th. He can fight Pacquiao. So Sean Porter's in the mix. He can get Pacquiao in June. Keith Thurman can get Pacquiao in June and July. Danny Garcia, not so much. His fight is, I believe, April the 26th. It's late April, right? And he's on his rebuilding path. Not so much. But Pacquiao, and he's already turned down the fight, but it's different now. 420, same day as Crawford Khan. That's basically May. Nah, I don't think he can get it. Errol Spence. Now that fight is what, March the 16th or March the 26th? If he beats Mikey Garcia. Or whoever wins that fight, definitely going to get the money. I think whoever wins this fight, March, it can happen, March 16th. But that means they would have to announce it like a month later. In April. May, June. It can happen in July. Terrence Crawford, you know he ain't getting a fight. I would have loved to see it, but he ain't getting the fight. Isn't it like just to see, Pacquiao say, thank you, Al Heyman? That shit is just crazy, right? He's 40 years old, and he's still out there just, he was trying to fight. He wanted to fight, but Broner just was running around and shit. He was trying. And then, as soon as he started letting his hands go, Broner, you can't never say that Pacquiao don't want to fight. You can never say that Manny don't want to fight, because he do want to fight. He's not, he's a 40-year-old man. He's not as explosive as he used to be, obviously, but he's still fast as fuck. It's just now, like I said, he's in, a situation where he's a very valuable asset to Al Heyman. Like, if you put your business hat on, you would think, like, it's not about me. I personally think that, here, let's pull it up. I still have it on the DVR. I think that Floyd might be jealous. Something just seems that, hold on. Wait, never mind. Hold up. This is going to slow down my shit. Let me open it up on Showtime. This is my cable box. Nope. We're not going to do it that way. Something tells me Floyd is jealous, man, of the attention that Pacquiao is getting. Let's listen in. Hold up. First of all, let me do this first. I'll be right back. All right? Give me a couple minutes. I got to go turn this heat off. We're frying. I'm frying. Go turn this heat off. I'm eating some chips. Here, listen to this. Let me figure out how to do this. Yeah, man. It shouldn't be this difficult, It shouldn't be this difficult. Like, do y'all think we cheating the game? Do y'all think we trying to do this shit to try to get over on the sport? I think that's what they think. That we just be trying to get over. Hold up, we're gonna play the interview. I'm trying to fix something. Like, they give me way too much shit. Like basically, I guess they think I be trying to leech off the sport, I guess. All right, we're gonna do it this way. Yeah, we're gonna do it this way.
Controlled this fight seemingly from the outset with your jab. How do you feel that you were so effective with that in controlling this fight?
I felt so happy because I did my best in the fight, and then also in training. Our strategy and techniques is we use a lot. We did a lot in the training camp, so thank God for this victory.
What do you think about the amount and ability that you had to throw so many punches?
I don't know you, Jay Blast. Don't ask about my daughter. Put him on timeout, somebody. 300 seconds.
At the age of 40.
I'm so happy because God gave me this good health, these blessings. At the age of 40, I can still give my best. Although I want to be aggressive more, but my camp is my coach told me that do not be careless, just wait him, counter him, but aggressive, but do not careless.
I'm trying to figure out how did his retina get scratched or whatever it was. What happened? Because as you look, we're looking in his eye, like what happened with his like did it happen after? Does anybody know the story with that? Because he looks fine. He wasn't rubbing anything or anything. Like during the post-fight interview or, even in the corner during the fight. So basically, what is it? A scratched cornea or a scratched retina? Also, he had like a cold or something. But people expect for this 40-year-old man to be the same dude he was. But nonetheless, he's still, Pacquiao in a sense. He's just a 40-year-old Pacquiao. That left hand is going to get you. It's going to get you at least once if you Floyd. Detached. I don't think it was detached. You sure it was detached? I didn't read detached. Lightweight is 135. It's weird, like the way they do it, because all the sanctioning bodies call it different. Like for example, with the WBC, 154 is super welterweight. Even though other sanctioning bodies, is junior middleweight. So he's a global icon, man, and a part of me feels that Floyd is, a little bit jealous of the attention he's getting. I mean, he should be like, he should have been all over this. You have Floyd, you have Manny Pacquiao fighting under Mayweather Promotions. Floyd should have been at the press conferences and all that. I mean, I understand, he don't want people like questioning him about if they're going to fight and everything, but Floyd got to get his motherfucking promotional company together. I used to clown Leonard Ellaby, but believe it or not, I've gained a higher amount of respect for him lately. I'm talking about over the last, what has it been, 3-4 years? Like, he really working on Mayweather Promotions. But at the same time, that's Floyd put him in place to do that, more so Heyman. Because remember, he was a corner man, But he really is working on Mayweather Promotions. Pac's going to make about, after everything, remember, pay-per-view numbers come out early. Somebody start getting on Twitter. It's not like it was before. Pay-per-view numbers come out within, the first week now. Tomorrow, they're probably going to be out. Oh, let me check my man. Hold up. So far, not yet. So far, not yet. Don't be surprised if later on tonight you start hearing the trickling of what the pay-per-view numbers are going to be. It's usually the second number that they come out with is the real number. You're going to get a real low number. Now, you're going to get a high number first, then a low number, but that middle number is usually always the right one. And then you're going to have my homie Rick Glosser say, no, it was really this. We bringing him on the show, by the way. Yeah. I talked to him before my Facebook got suspended last month. So we bringing him on the show. That one combo, Broner doesn't let his hands go. He should have went out there to that 40-year-old man. 750 is a great number, bro. That's a great number for this landscape. Pacquiao brings 300 himself. We saw that with Jesse Vargas. He brings 300 himself. Detached. Pac-Man says his retina is not detached now. Scratch cornea. Yeah, see? Okay, there we go. Thank you for clearing that up. But I don't know if Broner was just being delusional or if he just was, just trying to be funny, I guess. Or, he didn't watch the tapes. And Kevin Cunningham was telling him all kind of like shit like he was winning, you know? Barry Hunter was telling Rashid Warren all the right things. Wait, we got to let this play through. I forgot because I want you to see Floyd's face. Here, let me fix this. This is not dark enough. They still going to try to get me. This ain't going to be dark enough. Here, let me fix this. Showtime be on some shit, man. They be on some shit. And it's not them. It's not the people you think is somebody who they put in charge of like their digital content. Some regular guy who probably just got out of college or some shit. You know, don't watch none of my videos. But he just be like, oh, wait, this shouldn't. Nah, we ain't having it. Yeah, let's get it a little darker. But I want you to see, we're going to talk about what Keith Thurman talked about in regards to Floyd's body language. I've been studying body language, too, a lot. I already told y'all. What do y'all think? Like, I'm trying to figure out how to do it. We're going into, we started already. I told y'all we're going into, like, crime news and shit. We're going to start covering, like, everything. I would have loved to have been at the Bill Cosby trial. Can you imagine one day I'm at like the Bill Cosby like trial and shit, and then the next day I'm like covering boxing? Crazy.
Why, when so many people thought that your career was possibly over, particularly after the Horn fight, have you been able to come back and be so efficient and so effective and perhaps even improve a little bit?
I really don't believe that my career is over. I mean, I proved it in my last fight against Matisi, and now I prove it again at age of 40. So Manny Pacquiao's journey still continue.
When you had opportunities in the 7th round and in the 9th round with the onslaught and those rallies, did you feel as though you were going to be able at that point to knock Broner out?
Yeah, I want to push more, but my trainer, Boo Boy, said that do not be careless, just take time, wait for him, you counter. And then that's what I did.
So, Manny, there's going to be a couple of questions that you're going to get relentlessly for the rest of your life, at least your boxing life. So let's start with the first one. Yeah. Floyd Mayweather, co-promoter here this evening in the house.
Hey, let's give this disclaimer. All right, we've been cool. They should let us show this 13 seconds, right? Because it's on social media. It's free. So they should be cool. I hope they don't block this video because they be manually tracking our shit. So they should let us, like, this is fair use. We can get away with these 13 seconds. I'm sick of it.
Watching and assessing you, sometimes saying things during the fight. Will you fight him next? Do you want that fight?
You know, tell him to come back to the ring, and then we will fight. I'm willing to fight again to Floyd Mayweather if he's willing to come back in boxing.
Floyd, you're staying out of the ring, but we got a camera there.
Oh, Jim, but you know, listen, Showtime been on Floyd. Showtime been on him. Showtime been on him.
Are you going to accept that challenge? A simple nod will do on the monitor. Yes or no, Floyd? No reaction? Well, I'm sure he will go through the business of it, and Money Mayweather will make that assessment.
Thank you, and I really thankful to Showtime and PBC and then Al Heyman for giving this big opportunity for us, especially to my fighters in the Philippines. So thank you, TGB, MP Promotion, PBC.
Let's have a look, Floyd. You know, the reason why I feel Floyd is not going to come back. Let's get a little vote. Let's get a little vote here. I want to see your opinions because this video is going to be used as an individual video. What is the reasons why you think, okay, I think he's coming back. But I think he's coming back for the money, but I think that he knows that his hands are fucked up. But it's too much money to turn down. And yes, Showtime has been instigating a lot. You know? The money will be right. It's going to do at least 2 million pay-per-view buys. Don't get it twisted. I can't stand Tiffany Haddish. I mean, Kevin Hart from Philly, I don't like that loud, obnoxious humor shit. I don't like that shit. I can't do it. I can't do that type of humor.
Well, I'm sure he will go through the business up.
I mean, he doesn't look, pleased or cool, but he already knew. He's smart enough to know, that when he would show up there, they was going to, talk to him about it and ask him. I know it's cooking. But a part of me feels that he doesn't like the attention that Pacquiao's getting. I don't know. He's just always been that type of dude. And I do think the rematch would be the same. I think that Pacquiao would have a little bit more success in the rematch. That's it. But he wants to make the money, but I don't think he wants to work for it. Remember, he can't fight for the WBC no more because he can't come in and say, no, I'm not going to be in the clean boxing program. I'm going to use USADA. The media is going to eat him alive. The media is going to eat him alive. And then if he fights Pacquiao, it'll be for the WBA world title, an underling title. He's going to, I guarantee you, he's probably going to make Pacquiao drop the belt. He's going to be like, you want to fight me? They're going to be fighting for an underling title when Thurman has the real one. Another thing he said openly at the McGregor post fight that his hands are fucked up. I'm gonna make sure. I should have had that clip ready. He said, what he's been saying for we've known for years that his hands been fucked up, but he finally broke through and said, everybody know my hands are brittle. It hurts to train and shit. The money's there, yeah, but the politics for him to come back, But if Al Heyman wants it, maybe he's got to pay for the crimes of fighting. Poor old Tension beating up that kid in a sparring. How you knock out a kid in sparring? That's just like, when motherfucking, who was that NBA player that was dunking on little kids and shit? Nobody know what the pay-per-view numbers in here. We don't know what they are. Nobody knows yet. Oh, yeah. What? Pacquiao better stay away from Spencer Thurman, but, Pacquiao always had real big balls. So, we know, and then with Al Heyman's guidance, we know he's going to take the fight. Yeah, no, I understand that. I understand. Hey, listen, you don't tell me. I covered it. I understand the 9 mil and 3. You can't beat that. You got to take it, right? But I don't think he should have knocked the little kid out. Tension, poor Tension, he's poor Tension, he's like a known name in boxing now. They said him and Charlo, still crying somewhere together. Yeah, he knocked that kid. He ain't just beat him up. He knocked the shit out of him. And then people told me it was fixed. I was like, fuck out of here. Floyd he was trying to kill him. And you never used to seeing Floyd look bigger than somebody. So I was looking like, oh my God, that Tension kid was little as fuck. Remember he hit Floyd with that, what was that right hand he hit Floyd with? Floyd was like, oh shit. Beat up that little kid, that little man. That's my little man. That's my little man he beat up. But we got to get out of here soon, guys. We got to talk about Joshua coming to the States. We got to talk about Joshua. Oh, yeah, we got 13 minutes right on time. Joshua's coming to the States. You know what? Let's go check in on Eddie Hearn's interview over at Sky Sports. I haven't watched it yet. He's got a new one out. I haven't watched it yet. It's 12 minutes. Damn. We're going to have to dissect this whole 12 minutes. Oh, I definitely believe it's happening. I don't know if it's definitely happening, but I definitely believe it is happening.
Eddie, this was the week that you've been negotiating.
He's worked very hard to get to the position he's in, to be that A side, to be the 4 belt holder.
Okay, so already. Now listen, I'm a little behind with all this, but as you know, I don't never really be behind. I know it be going on to an extent. The fighters are freezing Joshua out because they know, like, yeah, you got those belts, but you don't have nobody to fight. Wilder, he said, fuck that. You know, like, Wilder's not picking up the phone. He's not picking up the phone. They playing Wilder, they not picking up the phone. So you got, let's look at it all objectively. Blame Wilder for whatever. You can say he's ducking. You can say he's ducking, but they giving them a nice dose of payback. So Wilder's not picking up the phone, right? Usyk doesn't want to jump right into a big heavyweight fight, right? He wants to ease his way in, but yet he's saying Usyk might fight Povetkin. So Dylan White is like, y'all need me. I want some more money, Eddie. Also, the Zone has likely been on Eddie back because you can't tell me he was, go back to the interviews before PBC on Fox was made official, before Showtime got their new deal, before Fox gave PBC their new deal. He was talking about signing up all these fighters. So can you imagine when he was in that meeting, whenever it first happened with the Zone, and he was like, listen, all these guys like Devonta Davis, Mikey Garcia, Adrian Broner, they're not fighting. His little British accent and shit, jive talking. Like, we can give them the money and get them over here and get them active. They got a lot of dates they got to fill, yo. He's got to do 16 here and 16 over there. That Matchroom stable is being spread thin. I don't think that AJ is coming over here to fight Miller because, he really wants to. I think he has to. I think they're like, yo, you got to bring us some motherfucking star over here, Eddie. Because what if it wasn't for Canelo signing with the Zone? What would they have? I like Eddie, cool dude. But the news is the news, bruh. Shit ain't looking right over on Matchroom side. Shit ain't been looking right for a while now over on Matchroom side. I've been watching. I'm rooting for him because when you have a new venture, when he talked about how, that they already established over in the UK. Joshua Ortiz, you're a casual. That's not happening. Ortiz already got a fight against Christian Hammer. Sorry, Jake. I didn't mean to call you a casual. I know you've been here, but that's very casual of you to not know that Luis Ortiz fight is already signed. He's fighting Christian Hammer on, what's that card he's fighting on? Laura Castellano, and who else is headlining? I forgot. Let's listen into a little bit of this. Let's see if we can skim through let's listen in. Fuck it. Let's just listen in and dissect it. Let's just listen in and dissect it.
So he wants to fight all these guys. Negotiations have been tough. Some people say they want to fight Anthony Joshua, but they forget the asterisk on the end, which is for a king's ransom, and it's been challenging. And this week, really, we got to close it out.
I think people got the impression that the Dillian White fight would have been quite easy for you to organise, but has there been any fallout, or has there just been a bit of difficulty?
I think Dillian's got his impressions of what he's worth in that fight. Anthony's got his. It's not. Anthony owns the show. He's the boss. Okay, so we'll sit down together and make the offers. And he made an initial offer. It was an initial offer. That's what it was. That was improved. I think we're at a stage now where you're getting to a fair offer, and I just think you've got to put a value as well on fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship. When Anthony Joshua boxed Charles Martin, he made peanuts. But it wasn't about the money. It was about the shot at the World Heavyweight title. I believe I can win, and when I do, I'm going to be the World Heavyweight Champion. Then I'm going to be in an unbelievable position. So if you really believe you can beat Joshua, you're being given the opportunity to do it for many millions of pounds. and that's it. And I feel my job with Dillian, after everything that he's done, is to deliver him that world title shot. So now that I've delivered it to him, I want him to take it, but he's got to be happy with the deal at the same time.
But did you notice, here's the thing, did you notice that it seems to be a pattern? It seems to be a pattern of, now Joshua is the A side, yes. Also, Earn with Hearn has told us many times that the first offer he always sends, you know, is the low offer. He's saying it's AJ, but he's the one putting the shit together. The offer he always sends first is the low offer. He like if he could, he says 80-20 first, but I'm sure if he could, he would try to 90-10 you. And he says it's the initial offer. And then, you know, you never, that's just business in general, you never take the first offer. Like, let me tell you what I'm doing right now. Y'all know, we got our little YouTube suspension. So, since I got suspended from YouTube, now I'm a free agent. They was taking, you know, a nice portion of our revenue. Now when I go back there, ain't gonna be taking that much because now we're renegotiating. They're gonna try to offer this. I'm gonna say no. I'll continue to not be monetized until we get some shit done. But I noticed there's a pattern where the fighters that have been offered money are always saying it's low. They saying like it's like disrespectful, but it is the initial offer. Correct. They paid for the belt. They paid for the belt. Correct. When they fought Charles Martin. Dylan White, as I said, he knows he's in a situation. Also, those talks of him, you know, having talks with Al Heyman. And that's starting to make a little sense because they did pick up, you know, outbid the Zone for White to Soar 2. No, my suspension is up. Now I'm a free agent. I'm a free agent. I can go to any affiliate I want. Suspension was up on Sunday. That was 30 days on Sunday. Deontay Wilder, he doesn't want any parts of him. He's saying that they're talking. He's saying that there's talks with Tyson Fury. But guess what? They like, you know, see, you can say that you sent offers, that you're sending offers, right? You can say you're sending offers. You can say that you're sending offers. The fighters can look at them, but it makes you look good because you say, well, I sent them the offers. You know? Wilder didn't buy his from Stavern. That was a mandatory. That bullshit don't matter. See, y'all missing the point. Like, okay, put it this way. There's two lines, right? I'm not going to use that analogy. Listen, Joshua's reputation is not as good as it used to be. He was like the hero not even a year ago. And now the perception is that the money and the belts and with the help of Eddie Hearn is that he's not as genuine anymore. It's what it seems like. Explain what in this interview. I don't care what it's like. Yeah, listen, I haven't seen none of these interviews. It's just that I just know from how boxing has been working throughout all these years I've been covering boxing. I don't be watching those, having to watch those interviews to, like, you know, you can see right through it. The boxers are playing hardball with him now because they know, like, you know, they like Joshua. They want Joshua. They want the money, but also Joshua needs them, but he has the belts. Nope, it's not known how many nope, that information is no way to get streaming information right now. That stuff only they have that stuff because you know why? It's their app. It's their app. Only they know the numbers. It's not like television where, you know, only they know the numbers. Like, you know, like it's like, you know, it's like if you're really so listen, it's like, I'm sorry, I understand. But like if he fights Big Baby Miller in New York, That's a big red flag. Big red flag. But I understand, y'all don't understand the politics of it. You know, a lot of you don't understand, and you're probably thinking like, well, you know, why does it take the split? I believe the money is fair. I believe 35, 30%, all that's fair. But however, they got the heat on Mr. Hearn. I don't think y'all seeing the chess that they're playing right now. I don't think your ESPN Plus is not better than the Zone. You tripping. You tripping. Fox Sports Go app, however, is amazing. They're trying to squeeze, like, they're playing mind games with Joshua. They're playing mind games. They want that damn money. But they feel like, especially Dylan White, because Dylan White knows he's needed. It's more than fair. But that's not the issue. It's just that, I don't know, I'm, beating the dead horse. I'm saying the same shit over and over again, But I see Joshua versus Miller. However, when though? Because Khan really fucked a lot of shit up for Eddie Hearn. He's got to be pissed because they don't have a TV deal over there in the UK, and Khan is a matchroom fighter. But the fight is on April the 20th, and it's going to be pay-per-view over in the UK. So what does that mean? Think about it. April the 13th, that means there's going to be 2 pay-per-views, 2 weeks, 1 week after each other. You're not seeing it. Matchroom is dealing with some shit right now. They got some shit going on. You can't tell me I ain't tell y'all. Because it was supposed to be Khan Brook in March. And then Joshua versus whoever in April. To keep the pay-per-view separated. So somebody's got to ask Mr. Hearn that. Like, well, one of your fighters is fighting on pay-per-view. So you got two of your fighters fighting on pay-per-view 2 weeks straight. They might have to fuck around and give y'all Khan motherfucking Crawford free. They not, though. They can't. I don't believe none of that stuff. But anyway, guys, I got to go. Get these videos out. Go finish up my chicken noodle soup, which should be, time to put my noodles in. We're going to see you tomorrow. I've already did some videos. I did videos before I started the stream. So I couldn't upload them during stream. So expect for me to be doing that now. My fucking ankle is fucked. So I'm not going anywhere. I have no reason to not do boxing shit. Our store is literally here. It's being stocked up right now. So we're likely going to I want to launch the store. I honestly, I'm not really feeling good about February. But it may... Whatever fights at the end of February, likely we're going to launch the store. We're going to be giving out coupon codes, doing giveaways. We also have a lot of things planned. We have a lot of we're doing a lot of shit. Y'all, listen. I'm healthy. This is I missed the first half of last year being sick and bedridden. So this is the first year I'm coming into being fully healthy. We're going to do some major work. I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live.